Looking to the Red Sox dugout for a possible in at third. And swinging a drive. Out to left. Back. She's gone. Yes, you've got to love his swing at Fenway.
Now that is what a team win looks like. You got punched in the mouth against the Phillies and the Cubs, losing 2 out of 3 on the road. You come back home against the defending World Series champions, and you just look like a team this past weekend. Hate to keep doing this, but you know what? Still one of the biggest storylines of the year. You moved Rafi. Everyone's freaking out. Everyone's like, how are you going to do this? You're going to trade your franchise player away. What are we doing here? And I'll always go back to this. After that first game, I said something feels different in the air. Something smelled different. Something tasted different. Couldn't quite put my finger on it. But the more we go along here, this is kind of what I was seeing, right? I was seeing the signs of it I don't know what exactly, but it's just something. Something was there. And you're just seeing this team more and more as the days go by, just coming together. And you saw so many examples in this game here today. So many. Just guys stepping up for the team, just battling out there, pulling for each other out there, stepping up for each other out there, right? Cedon Rafaela. I think we can all agree here. I think all of us here are going to say he's the best defensive center fielder in the game. I think he's right up there along with Pete Crow Armstrong, no doubt about that. But hey, what in the world? Siri is talking to me. I don't know why Siri's talking to me. But I just lost my train of thought. Siri on my phone just completely ruined my brain. I don't know what's going on here. But Cedon, best defensive center fielder in the game. Hey, can you play second base? We need you to play second base. Marcelo Meyer went down. We're going to need you. No problem. What does he go out there today and do? Makes an amazing clutch play defensively late in the game. I mean, what a play that was. I mean, you just saw it there in the intro. Alex Bregman, quad injury, missed, 5 to 6 weeks. Hey, man, we need your bat back in this lineup, man. We're going to need you to probably just run 50%. But hey, how you feeling? You good? I'm good to go. Put me in the lineup. I'll do some damage with the bat. What does he do here today? We just saw it in the intro. Big-time home run over the monster. Roman Anthony just got called up this year. Hurts his foot in the beginning of the game after a hit by pitch. What does he do? Hey, man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to play through this. This is hurting me. You were seeing all game, they were kind of checking on him throughout the game. What does he end up doing? Hits his first triple in his career. Plays some solid defense. Good base running today. No problem. Aroldis Chapman having a bit of a low back issue, according to Alex Cora after the game here today. And Boston Strong on Twitter today, he was saying that fans were seeing him vomiting, throwing up in the bullpen. I don't know about that, but Cora said he was having a low back issue. So I'm not sure what that is exactly. But Chapman's obviously not feeling his best. He's still going to go out there. Even if he's only throwing 94, 95, he's still going to go out there, go get Ohtani, and do what he's got to do. They had to pull him out of that game. This is what a team looks like, ladies and gentlemen. This is what you got to do when you're in the grind of a 162-game season. You need guys to step up like this for you. And slowly but surely, this has been coming together just over the past couple of months here, and it's a beautiful thing to see. This is what a team looks like. This is what a team that has each other's backs looks like. They go out there and they're just going to battle, right? Even if they're not feeling their best, they're going to do what they got to do to try and win the game. Yeah, they're going to make some bad defensive plays along the way. They're going to frustrate you along the way. Absolutely. But man, oh man, this Red Sox team, they are fun to watch right now. They're having a lot of just, sure, you drop a couple of series there on the road against some tough teams in the National League, but you just took it to the defending World Series champions, and this is fun to watch. And it's a pleasure to watch. I've watched a lot of Red Sox baseball over the years, and this is a fun one. This is a fun team. I love the characteristics of this team, man, and you just saw it on full display. The offense, coming up with some clutch hits today. Great job. They do very well when they score first. 38-15 on the year when they score the first run. They only had 6 hits today, but they made the most out of it. You had Story contributing early. Like I said, Roman had a solid game today, hit his first career triple. Bregman with the big home run like we just mentioned. Sign this man to an extension. Alex Bregman, get this guy signed to an extension. I mean, listen, I know you don't necessarily got to rush it, but I want to keep this guy in Boston for years to come. Bregman needs to have an extension. This was not an easy win today on top of everything that I just said, right? You just said all these good things, but this was a grind here today, and that's what I love about this win, and that's what I love about this series win against a team just full of talent. An absolutely stacked team. Sure, they're having their issues here, but I fully expect the Dodgers get themselves right. They'll go into the postseason, and they're still going to be a force no matter what. But Walker Buehler, he did not really have it here today, but I will give credit to Walker Buehler. He had a lot of command issues today, having a hard time finding the zone. I don't know what was going on, but he was not his best today, but he did just enough, and shout out to the bullpen today. The bullpen as well, they got into a few hairy spots along the way, and they really came through. Shout out to Greg Weissert. That guy had ice in his veins. My goodness, we'll talk about that in just a little bit. Jordan Hicks. Shout out to him as well, right? Chapman. I mean, you're expecting Chapman to come in and shut it down like he always does, but I don't know. Feeling sick, low back's bugging him, whatever it is. Jordan Hicks, he stepped up there. I don't know if this was a planned day for Jordan Hicks to come in, but if it wasn't, whatever it is, he came in unexpectedly. And he got the job done there. I mean, he got some help from Seti. Again, shout out to Seti, man. I at the end of the year, man, I wonder, when we look back on the 2025 Red Sox, who are we going to call the most valuable player on this team? I honestly think Seti is going to have a great argument for that. Will he be the leader in, wins above replacement? Who knows? I mean, we'll see how that all shakes out. But I think you can look at what he's brought to the table this year, taking a big step forward with the bat, coming through with clutch moments. We had the walk-off home run not too long ago. Playing some solid defense here today at second base. Had a couple of solid plays in Philly as well. But again, the best defensive center fielder arguably in the game, and he moves over to second base. No problem. I'll go show you what I can do at second as well. It's a pleasure watching this team. This is a fun team to watch. I'm having a lot of fun with it. We've had some frustrating moments this year, more so early, but this team, they picked a great time to win a series against the best possible team that you could do it, to give them some momentum going into this series with the trade deadline. Feeling good. So let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of familiar faces here in the chat. Who do we got here in the chat today? We got Jacob. We got Connor. We got Wyatt. We got Hankerang. I think I said that right. Doc, Connor, Coley, Jacob, Albert. How you guys doing? How you doing? Nick, how you doing? Danny, hello, my friend. Hello. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. If you can, just hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new. We're going to dive into this today. We do got to pay the bills. Let's get that out of the way. We got to keep the lights on over here. I'll be right back. Never bet on baseball before? Well, it's easy. Pick a guy to go yard, hammer some live odds mid-game, or just ride your squad and hope for the best. No spreadsheets, just vibes and dingers. Now, here's something special for first-timers. New DraftKings customers bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets instantly. So what are you waiting for? Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code FOUL. That's code FOUL for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY at 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Let's get to it, shall we? Let's get to it. Let's talk about Buehler. We'll touch on the bullpen in a little bit as well. We're going to go a bit back and forth here, but like I said in the intro, Buehler, he just didn't have it today. He was lacking the command, 46% in the zone today. He was getting a little bit of swing and miss, right around his yearly average, but he just wasn't very effective overall. But again, he got the job done for the most part, right? Wasn't able to get through 5, but he did what he could with the lack of command. Third inning, he loaded the bases. He walked home Freddie Freeman. That scored the Dodgers' first run. Fourth inning, holy cow, Michael Conforto. What was Michael Conforto's final line on the day today? If you just didn't even look at the box score and you're just watching the game here today, you think Conforto went like 6 for 6, just like Nick Kurtz did with the A's. I mean, holy cow, Conforto was off the charts here today. And it was at the worst time because I tweeted during the game today. Remember, there was a fly ball that dropped, or that Conforto overran here today on left field, and he's had a really tough year with the Dodgers. Very tough year. He's had a negative wins above replacement on Fangraphs. So I tweeted out like the sighing dog meme today. I always put silly little reaction pictures out there, but when he overran the ball, I'm thinking to myself, man, Dodgers fans, like, I don't know how much more they could take. I don't know, did Conforto see that tweet or something, and he just went off after that? Horrible timing, putting out some, what's the word I'm looking for? Speaking negatively about Conforto today. I think he might have seen it, and I think he said, well, forget this guy. I'm gonna go have myself a game. So Michael Conforto, goodness gracious, I apologize for that. But he had a home run there in the fourth inning. That made it 2-1. Ran into a little bit more trouble after him. Rojas with a walk. He stole second. Mookie with the base hit. That made it 3-1. Another base hit to Ohtani. But ended up striking out Teoscar on the fastball up. So good for Walker Buehler to really dig in there and just got it done there. Fifth inning, he struck out Freeman and Pages. That ended his day because Michael Babe Ruth Conforto was coming up there. So bullpen, shout out again to them today, man. This bullpen was unbelievable. Bernardino came in, Conforto with the double. Ended up getting out of that, though. Sixth inning, Weiser gave up a double to Rojas. Mookie with the fly out, struck out Ohtani. Got Teoscar to ground out. Greg Weissert, ice in his veins. Greg Weissert, I am pretty sure he is the 2018 postseason Craig Kimbrell. Like, he gives me that same exact feeling. Horrible. Like, it's bad. Like, my heart rate, when I see Weissert coming into the game, my heart rate goes up. But he worked around it here today, and he got some big outs. Seventh inning, Justin Wilson came in. Conforto again. How many doubles did Conforto? He had 2 doubles today and a home run. Holy cow, Michael Conforto. Frick. But yeah, the double there. And then Smith with the hit by pitch, but Wilson got out of it. And then here comes Chapman for the 8th inning. Didn't look right. Right from the get-go, you're seeing this velo. I think he hit 96 once, but 96, I mean, that's easy work for Chapman. Easy work. And I'm thinking, what's going on here? He's throwing 94, 95. I'm thinking he's missing the zone a little bit. He just didn't look right. Again, Boston Strong, I don't know where he heard this report. I don't know. But he said that fans saw Chapman throwing up in the dugout, or in the bullpen, sorry. I don't know. I mean, there was no video or anything, but he put that out there. He's a big account. I don't know. Not sure. But Alex Cora said after the game that he was having a low back issue. And I was thinking that too, that there was something lower body going on. He just didn't seem to have that same explosiveness with the delivery. Didn't look like an arm thing to me. The arm action still looked pretty good. He wasn't favoring his arm at all. He wasn't, doing any of the shakes with the arm at all. He just looked stiff, and he just wasn't moving with that same explosiveness that he usually has. He's always got that oomph on his delivery, but there was just something with that. I don't know. He didn't have that same aggressiveness. So I'm thinking to myself, looks like there's some discomfort going on. That's how I've hurt my back like a million times. I'm dealing with a back injury right now. My goodness, we're getting old over here, ladies and gentlemen. But that's what I was sensing. I'm like, I don't know, man. It seems like maybe there's something with the back. Maybe pulled a hamstring or something. Something where it just wasn't really moving well. I didn't think it was an arm, and Cora confirmed that after the game. But as for the results, he walked Rojas, he walked Mookie, ended up getting Ohtani out, though. And that was it. Jordan Hicks came in unexpectedly, and that's where he had the incredible play by Seti. Line out to second base, and then Seti. Holy cow, what a play. Caught the ball. Kim trying to dive back to second base. Seti dives to second base, a heads-up play, tagging the base. They reviewed it, ended up being out. They called him safe at first. They reviewed it. He was out. Cedar Rafaela, man. I'll say it one more time. I honestly do think when we look back on the 2025 Red Sox, I think there is an argument for him to be considered the MVP of this team. So let's get to the offense here. Let's kind of go back just a little bit. Different look to the lineup here today. Different look. And I loved the look of this lineup coming in here today. Roman Anthony leading off. Youngest leadoff hitter since 1968. You had Jarren Duran hitting third. And I was a big fan of this because Roman, over his last 15 games coming into today, had a .450 on base percentage. Guy's been getting on base like an absolute savage, an absolute menace out there. You can't get Roman Anthony out. So I'm thinking, why not? I mean, this guy hit leadoff a lot with the Woo Sox. I can't even, it's like, it is crazy because like we're looking at what he's doing here at the major league level. I feel bad for the guys that were trying to picture this guy at AAA. These guys down to the minor leagues, just they're trying to make a name for themselves. They're trying to get the call up, and they got to go up against Roman frickin' Anthony. I mean, he's doing this here at the major league level. I mean, listen, I'll admit I wasn't watching every Woo Sox game, but I can only imagine what these pictures were thinking here with Roman down at AAA. I mean, holy cow. I don't know. But I liked it, Roman leading off, and then Duran hitting third over a 600 slugging over his last 15 games. Why not? Why not shake it up a little bit? Especially when these guys have been producing. So I thought the numbers, they correlated well with where they were in the lineup. In the first inning, right off the bat, Roman getting hit by a pitch on the foot. The universe said, hey, welcome to get ready to learn leadoff, buddy. This is what the leadoff spot is. This is what you're going to be in for. You're getting hit on the foot your first time leading off. He was getting checked on throughout the game. I mean, there was one moment in the dugout later on in the game where I wouldn't say he was calling over someone, but he was mentioning to the athletic trainer, like, hey, I don't know, something's not feeling very good. But this guy stayed in the whole game. I don't know what happened because this guy's base running was solid here today. He was playing good defense out in left field. He had a great game here today. But then Duran had the base hit. That got Roman over to third. Story with the sac fly. Story just continues to contribute. He, when you look at the numbers with Story on the year, he's hitting .248, a .689 OPS. But with Story, you're just seeing he's just finding ways to contribute in ways that you're not seeing it on the stat sheet, right? He's coming through with big hits. He's playing some solid defense at shortstop. It's unfortunate if these are the numbers, looking back, like going the offseason. I'll just say this, kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of words today. My brain is fried. Let's just say in the offseason, right? I don't know, like teams are looking at Story or some kind of a trade or something like that. I could see people on Twitter being like, OPS at a 700, that's it? Well, this guy, he wasn't very good last year, but we're all seeing him. Minus that one bad month that he had in May, he has been so good. He's been so solid. I mean, no, he's not putting up monster numbers by any means, but he's just doing a lot of the little things well. Just a glue kind of a player. Really enjoying Trevor Story this year. But he had the sac fly, made it 1-0. Fifth inning, Toro with the base hit. Roman, triple off the monster. First career triple. That made it 3-2. Bregman just mashing a homer, man. Get this guy signed, for crying out loud. What else do you need to do? I mean, why isn't this extension typed up? Everyone's read it. Just get this thing done. I mean, Bregman needs to be a Red Sox for the rest of his career. He had some more opportunities along the way. He just couldn't quite capitalize. All right, but in the end, bullpen was able to lock it down. Jordan Hicks, he came back out for the ninth. He got the first two. Michael Babe Ruth Conforto, he got walked. Had a pinch runner, Ruiz, he stole second, but then the ground out to Bregman, ending the game. Gotta love it, man. Gotta love it. Oh, we got a little bit of a report here. Eric Fetty going to the Braves. Eric Fetty and the oh-so-legendary cash considerations going to the Braves. That's such a Braves kind of a move, man. Whatever happened to Eric Fetty? This guy was so good last year. And, man, he just really fell off. This guy was giving up, like, moonshots to the Cardinals. I don't know. Anyway, that was the game here today. You gotta love it, man. Gotta love it. Just, again, a good all-around solid win. Pitching wasn't perfect, but they got the job done. You had some hairy moments. Bullpen was able to pick up Walker Buehler. Jordan Hicks was able to pick up Aroldis Chapman there. Greg Weissert coming in, getting the job done there. Wilson getting it done. Offense with just enough. You got the clutch hits. Good defense to hold it down. Roman, solid defense out in left field. Good base running from him today. Seti with the clutch play in the 8th inning. Just really enjoying this team. And I've said that like probably 18 times now, but I am. This team, this is what I was envisioning, and this is what I was hoping for. Just a team. All right. Remember, go back to that Seattle series, right? The post-Raffy era. And I'm thinking to myself, what? Because, you always hear that conversation. You hear the same conversation every year with every team. What's the identity of this team? And I'm thinking, man, what? We talked about this, right? 04, you had the idiots. 03, you had Cowboy Up. 13, you had the Beards. 18, these guys are just wrecking everybody, right? They were just an incredibly talented group. I'm wondering, like, what could be the identity of this team? And I'm thinking to myself, I just want this team to be a team. I don't need it to be any sort of, I don't need to find, some, fun thing. I don't know. Just to me, the most simple thing was just them being a team and playing for each other and just being there for each other and stepping up for each other, stepping up for the good of the team. And that's what this identity is. That's what this Red Sox team is. They are just a team. And they're looking like a good one. I'm very excited for it. I see you in the chat, King JB. Chapman, they're just saying it's a small back spasm. I thought I did. I have the post game on the TV. I thought I heard them say something like that as I was talking. Doesn't look like it's going to be anything serious. Again, that's what I was thinking it was going to be with Chapman. Just some kind of a discomfort kind of a thing. So let's move on to the Twins, shall we? Let's move on to the Twins. And we do have a couple minutes here. If you are watching with us on Nesson, we are going to do the Twins preview, but we do have a couple of trade deadline news to dive into as well. So really quick, let's dive into this Twins series. Actually, hold on. We're at that point in the season now where we got to be looking up the updated standings. So let's actually do that really quick before we get to the Twins series. Taking a look-see. The Red Sox are now 57-50, 6.5 back in the division. And obviously holding on to a wild card spot. My screen is not... There's the screen. Thank you, screen. I appreciate you stepping up for me. But taking a look here. So as of right now, still hanging on to that third wild card. The Rangers, they remain red hot. They are 9-1 in their last 10. They've won 6 straight games. They're just hot on the tails here, right? The Mariners... They are playing right now against the Angels. The Angels have a 4-1 lead here in the top of the 8th. So that is looking promising. So it looks like the Red Sox, by the end of the day here, they will have the second wild card spot unless the Mariners make a comeback here late. So looking like the Red Sox going to have the second wild card. And, well, actually, well, if the Mariners lose, well, then the Rangers are now going to be tied for the third wild card. It's getting spicy. It's getting spicy, ladies and gentlemen. So, let's see. And really quick for the Twins. That is not where. Here we go. There's the probable matchups. So we have. This is an interesting series too, and I'll give you that in just a little bit. But Richard Fitz going up against Simeon Woods Richardson in Game 1. Giolito going up against Chris Paddock in Game 2, and Brian Bayo going up against the so legendary to be determined. So that's interesting, right? We just had Joe Ryan start yesterday. So hold on, let me count in my head here. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Oh, no, that's not going to be 5 days rest. So Joe Ryan wouldn't even be lined up to pitch in this series. But Joe Ryan is on the Twins, ladies and gentlemen. If there were a deal to be made, this would be a very nice time to do so. But everybody on Nesson, if you are with me, I do have to wrap it up right there. We are out of time. If you want to see the rest of the show and some trade deadline news, come on over to YouTube, come to Monster Territory, and hear what my potato face has to say about the trade deadline news. But everyone on Nesson, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. But here on YouTube, let's get to it here. So, Richard Fitz, he's just been up and down, man. I think the pectoral strain that he had this year, that's such a bummer for a man, because he was looking really good there the first couple of starts. And for a guy, he's in his rookie year, he's just trying to find his way. I just feel like his year really got messed up. His last start was not very good. Taking a look here, he gave up 6 hits, 4 earned against the Phillies. That is the Phillies. So the Twins, they obviously have some good bats, right? We did see the Twins not too long ago. But, yeah, I think Richard Fitz, he'll prefer to go up against this Twins lineup. Now taking a look. I keep losing the matchups, ladies and gentlemen. I think, oh, there we go. Then Simeon Woods Richardson. He has been pretty decent. Was a former top pitching prospect not too long ago. ERA at a 4.14, but the FIP is at a 4.67. He's not getting a lot of strikeouts, 7.5 per 9. The command has been a little iffy with him this year, 3.9 walks per 9. He's giving up a few home runs as well. So, yeah, this could be a pretty decent matchup here for the Red Sox. And then Chris Paddock, Paddock, he's had a couple of issues as well. Remember Chris Paddock back in 2019 with the Padres? People were looking at him as one of the next great pitchers in the game. And it's funny how things happen like that, right? ERA close to a 5. The FIP is better at a 4.39. Again, you're more of a contact kind of a guy. Under 7 strikeouts per 9. The command is fine. He's going to throw a good amount of strikes, but he's been prone to the home run ball this year. Right around 1.4 home runs per 9. And then TBD. Who's going to be starting against Brian Bayo? Well, as of right now, Fangraphs, they are projecting Bailey Ober to be starting on Wednesday. But it says here, he according to RotoWire, he's going to be making another rehab start yesterday. Or 2 days ago. So it looks like he would be in line for this start. That just hasn't been fully announced yet. So look out for Bailey Ober. But his numbers have not been great. ERA and FIP over a 5. He was dealing with a hip injury. Not a lot of strike. Again, another one of these guys that's not going to strike out a whole bunch of guys, pitch more to contact. But he's been very prone to the home run ball. 2 home runs per 9. That's pretty rough. But the Red Sox, I know their offense has been pretty inconsistent here. Again, you picked up the, past couple of nights here. You've gotten yourself a win. So let's see if this Red Sox offense, they've got their mojo back. And listen, this is a really good time to really get that offense going here, because you're going up against some guys that they've had their own issues this year. So Giolito, he was a little iffy his last time out. Brian Bayo. But these guys have been pretty solid for the most part this year. Now, let's go back here and let's regroup. We got some trade deadline news to talk about real quick. Before I do get to that, though, every one of you can just hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you're new. We're trying to get to 5K by the end of the season. Let's talk some trade deadline here. Now, we got a couple more reports here today. Chris Cotillo talking more about Yandy Diaz. We got the reports from Ken Rosenthal yesterday. In case you missed that, Ken Rosenthal touching on the Rays yesterday for The Athletic, saying that they could be softening their stance when it comes to possibly trading Yandy, maybe Brandon Lau. Guys like Taj Bradley, Shane Baz have popped up in trade rumors. The Rays, they were looking really good there for a little bit, but they're coming back down to earth. And the Rays, you never know with the Rays. They're a very unpredictable team, very unpredictable franchise. They're always going to make some kind of a move that you don't expect, right? They got one eye on the present, one eye on the future. But that ties in perfectly here with someone like Yandy Diaz. And the Red Sox, according to Ken Rosenthal yesterday, said that if he were to be made available, the Red Sox would be at the top of the list in terms of teams that are interested in Yandy. Now, Yandy, listen, I've been thinking about it more over the last day or so. I am on Team Yandy. Team go get Yandy. I'm a big fan of it, especially more so now that we saw Seti today with that great play over at second base, right? Obviously, you want Seti out in center field. I want to keep Seti out there as much as possible. But if it were to come down to it, and he has to play some second base, I'm okay with that. So if you've got to have an outfield with Jarren Duran, Roman Anthony, Willie Abreu, however, that shakes out, and if Seti has to play a little second base, then and if he rotates back into the outfield, then I'm cool with that. Maybe against left-handed pitching, I know that's not really a whole lot, but whenever he can find a way to get out to center field, I'm okay with that. But I'm also okay with him being at second base in the meantime. So as for first base, right, that's where you can look to make an upgrade here. So while keeping all of your outfielders, right, this could be a solution where you can keep all of your outfielders on this roster, but still make an upgrade in the lineup. Now, obviously, you got Romy Gonzalez, right? You got Romy out there, and that's another guy, right? Against left-handed pitching, Romy, you could have him play second base. He's not great defensively there. I'm not a big fan of that. I'd like Romy at first base, but but again, Cora is so good with all these matchups. He can maneuver his way through unlike anyone. So if you were to go for an upgrade, I think a right-handed hitting first baseman could make a lot of sense where, yes, you have Romy, a right-handed hitter. So against lefties, Romy can just play second base. Seti, sorry if I said Seti at second against lefties a second ago. I think I meant to say right-handed hitters for Seti. So getting a right-handed hitting first baseman, that can really work, while still getting all these guys into the lineup. Again, Cora is very good at that. So I think Yandy would make a lot of sense. We talked about this last night. He's putting up some very good numbers, hitting 286, a 345 on base, 475 on the slugging, a 126 WRC plus. He's had a pretty solid career at Fenway Park. Gets on base a ton. I really like this. It really give the Red Sox a pretty clear option in the middle of the order where, Trevor Story, he can go, into the, 5 or 6 spot. Yandy, that can be your clear-cut cleanup guy. Maybe 5th some days. With Yandy, he gets on base a good amount. You could even hit him leadoff some days where Yandy's just a really solid hitter. If you were to go after him, I think that could make a lot of sense. And getting back here to the article with Chris Cotillo, again, he touched on Ken Rosenthal with his article yesterday. So he says here, let me pull up the quote. Red Sox decision makers were privately wondering if the Rays could make Diaz available if they continued to struggle and identified him as someone at the top of the wish list should he be on the trading block. The Rays entered Sunday with a 6-14 July record and a 53-52, are 2.5 games out of third, and the final American League wildcard spot. And Buster Olney, he said it was a perfect fit, right? And again, also kind of getting back here, Abraham Toro, he just hasn't really fully been able to produce, right? He's been able to get on base, but hasn't really been able to give you too much thump right there. So that's where I think Yandy makes a lot of sense to be your everyday first baseman, and then you get Romy in the lineup against lefties at second base. If Yandy needs a day off, then obviously, against lefties or whatever, then Romy can play there. So that's the way you do it. And against right-handers, you probably just have Seti in the lineup at second base. I know that's not the most preferable option, but it is what it is at this point, especially if you're going to be keeping all of your outfielders. So Chris Cotillo, again, touching on this here today. I do think he had another part that I wanted to read. Increasing. I know there was one sentence that I wanted to read. I apologize. I lost it. Here we go. This was it. Privately, the club is not guaranteeing, or the Red Sox are not guaranteeing, that Tristan Casas, who is rehabbing from a season-ending knee injury, will be the starter in 2026. This is another benefit, in my opinion, for getting Yandy. Because you don't know what's going to happen with Casas. I mean, sure, he's going to rehab. He is obviously going to get another shot at some point down the road. But will that be with the Red Sox? I don't know. To me, if you get Yandy, and you can kind of just let Casas come back at his own pace, right? And then if he comes back healthy and he's really looking good and he's good to go, well, you just figure it out then. But at least if you have Yandy, if you trade for him now, you're going to have him for next year. So you don't have to worry about first base. So this makes a lot of sense, in my opinion. Yes, you'd have to figure out what to do with Casas, but you just worry about it then. So I like the idea of getting Yandy because it's a good insurance policy as well. You'd still have him for another year, and it's not like you'd be tied into a long-term contract. You just have him for one more year. So there is a vesting option for 2027 that does come into play. So you do have to consider that as well. It's based on plate appearances. So there is that. But you are for sure going to be getting him for next year. And he's not really going to be too expensive. It's a $12 million club option. So I think this makes a lot of sense in a lot of different ways. Again, you're not getting your preferable defensive alignments, right? You'd love to have Seti out in center field more often. You'd like Romy to be playing at first base because that's where he plays the best defensively. Hasn't been amazing at second base. So yeah, you are going to have to deal with that if you acquire Yandy. But I wonder if the trade-off for the good bat in the middle of the order is worth it, right? If you're, playing Romy at second base against lefties, have some errors along the way, then I think that could be worth it for what he can bring to the middle of the order. You would be extending this lineup so much. And I would really love to have Yandy. Now, you could still go the other route where you go get a left-handed hitting first baseman like Ryan O'Hearn. But the problem with O'Hearn, he has been pretty cold. He got off to a great start this year. He made it to the All-Star game. But he hasn't been hitting all that great over the last little while now. Josh Naylor was an option, but it seemed like more of the Red Sox, they were always just kicking the tires. But I think after Marcelo Meyer went down, this kind of makes more sense to me, right? Because you are going to need someone at second base. So it's kind of a way to keep the whole team together, right? And you keep Jarren Duran. And that's actually the next thing that we're going to be talking about here. Good old Bob Nightingale. He had something here. The Red Sox have no plans to trade outfielder Jarren Duran at the deadline, rejecting the San Diego Padres' offers and are more likely to move him this winter. Now, there was another report out there. I think it was from Alex Spear that the Padres had never even made an offer to the Red Sox. I don't know what's going on with that. Even offer, no offer. You know the Padres want Jarren Duran. Like, they absolutely do. AJ Preller, it's the worst kept secret in all of baseball this year. So, Padres, they if they had a chance to get Duran, you know they're going to go for it. So, but Bob is saying the Red Sox have no plans to trade Duran. The only way I'm trading Jarren Duran at this point, and again, let's get back here to the Twins. The only way I'm doing it, and it's probably unlikely, is if Joe Ryan is somehow involved in the discussion. The Red Sox do need to get a number 2. I know we're very focused right now on the first base talk, but don't forget, we need that number 2. Absolutely. Let's actually go back here to the Chris Cotillo article. And he wrote here as well, with 4 days to go before the deadline, the Red Sox continue to focus on pitching upgrades. They'll continue to look at controllable but potentially unattainable arms like Joe Ryan, Mitch Keller, Sandy Alcantara, while also playing in the pool of rentals that includes Zach Gallen and Merrill Kelly, Seth Lugo, and Dylan Cease. He also mentions Ryan O'Hearn is another clear fit. Bullpen arms are readily available this time of the year, and the Sox are looking into that market as well. And yes, with Aroldis Chapman, seems like it's more of just was having some back spasms. I'd still go get another reliever. I think that makes a lot of sense. Especially, today's game was a bit hairy with the bullpen. I want to go get another arm. I would really love that if that's at all possible. Could you maybe do something for, a swing and miss kind of a guy like David Bednar? I don't think the Red Sox are going to be if they could somehow land Griffin Jax, I'd be a huge fan, but that's going to be a very hefty price. Very hefty price, especially for Yohan Duran too. Starting pitchers, though, I'm leaning more towards that they're going to end up getting a rental starter. I just think, with the prices you got to pay, I have a hard time seeing Craig paying a lot to go get a rental or depending on the rental. But I have a hard time seeing him ponying up a premium price to go get Joe Ryan, especially if it's prospects, right? You just unloaded a lot of prospects for Garrett Crochet. Are you going to do it again for Joe Ryan? I just feel like Craig won't do that. I mean, I could be wrong. You never know. I'm at the point now where I say never say never. Could you maybe see Mitch Keller? He's definitely going to be cheaper than Joe Ryan. I don't think that's completely crazy. I think you could go get a controllable guy as long as the price is not just completely ridiculous. I think that's absolutely in play, but it's the deadline. And that's just how it gets. If he gets a fair deal, I think you could see Craig do it. Maybe Sandy, but did look good in his last start. That could be a sign of good things to come. Sandy's value has lowered a lot this year, but maybe the market, that could inflate the price back up to what it was prior. I could still see the Marlins hanging on to Sandy and then moving him in the offseason. I think that's realistic. But maybe you can make a play there, right? I just wonder if a rental is going to be the way to go. If you go get a cost-controlled guy like Yandy for next year, could the happy medium be to just go get a rental starter? Merrill Kelly, I have been told personally that the Detroit Tigers are high on Merrill Kelly. We'll see how that all shakes out. Gallen, who knows? He hasn't had a great year. Seth Lugo, the Red Sox have been interested in him in the past, but that was a different regime. And Dylan Cease, I mean, they have shown interest in Dylan Cease over the last, couple of off seasons now. So I wonder if he could be a guy you go after. It just depends on the price. I don't know. AJ Preller, he's going to make moves. So wouldn't be surprised at all. Wouldn't be surprised. Joanne DeCrenzo, Duran for Keller and Bednar. This dude just said, no, I did not say that. That's not what I said. Probably no. It would be a lot more than those guys. But no, that's not going to be the trade. That's the only way I could see a conversation happening for Jaren Duran. I don't think that trade actually happens, but maybe some kind of a conversation that involves those guys. Oh, someone else in the chat said that. I was about to say, I was like, did I say that? I could see a conversation maybe around those guys. I was about to say, did my potato brain just say that? Anyway, sorry. But anyway, where was I? I don't remember where I was. The Red Sox need pitching. They absolutely need pitching. So Yandy, again, looks like they're hot on the heels for Mr. Yandy. I would like to have Yandy in the fold. Will that be realistic? I don't know. The Rays, they like to sell high on value. They like to try and get out from under these contracts or before these guys get to free agency as soon as they can. And with them coming back down to earth, I think that could happen. We'll see. We'll see. Joanne, you said I look like Trevor Story's twin. I've been told that a million times. The Red Sox are going back to Tampa here over the next month, I think, or in September. I think it's September. I am hoping to go back to Tampa, hopefully to get a few more interviews on the field. I would love that. My goal is to talk to Trevor Story. I need to have the meeting because I need to ask him, listen, do I look like you? Do I look like Trevor Story? Tell me, because everyone tells me I do. So, everybody, I'm going to wrap it up right there. That is enough for today. I could yap about all of this trade stuff. We are going to be live this coming Thursday all day. That's what we've been doing on the main channel. We won't be live here on Monster Territory. We're going to be live on my main channel all day. So if you want to get all the trade deadline coverage, all the reactions, all the breakdowns, come find my main channel here on YouTube. And then we're just going to have a good old fun day that day. We'll be live on Monster Territory that night, breaking down whatever the Red Sox do or don't do. So that's going to be a busy day. Going to be a busy day. Everyone, I'm out of here. Thank you so much for coming on by. And one quick question from Danny. What will Yandy cost? We talked about this last night, but I'll touch on it one more time. If they were to go after Yandy, I talked about James Tibbs last night. He just feels like a player the Rays would like. A good batted ball profile. Very disciplined at the plate. Very good with his pitch selection. Has platoon risk. He doesn't move amazing in the outfield. The Rays do like their athletic players, but they've had guys like Hunter Renfroe in the past playing out there. So, I don't know. The Rays have always had a thing for these platoon kind of bats, and Tibbs fits that. So I wonder if you could do some kind of a deal with him. Would they want someone like Brandon Clark? He's been getting scouted pretty heavily. I think you will have to give up a top 10 guy, I think. At least top 12, at least. And maybe even another prospect outside of that range, or maybe even a couple of prospects. So I do think it's going to, my guess is it would take a top 10 guy. Not top 5. I don't know. Maybe Brandon Clark. Would the Red Sox do that? I don't know. That's kind of one of those deals where at the trade deadline, trades are going to hurt, especially at the deadline. Is that a deal where the Red Sox would feel, is that the appropriate ask at the deadline that would sting? I think you could see something like that. Again, Clark's been scattered a lot. So I would say maybe him. James Tibbs seems to be at least for me, a guy that would be in the fair range to be able to get someone like him. We'll see. There's a lot of different ways you could go. But everybody, I'm out of here. Thank you for joining me here today. Great series win. Excited for tomorrow's game. Excited for the deadline this coming week. But I'm going to get out of here, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and we'll see you tomorrow.